It seems like every other week I'm hearing a complaint from a business owner talking about their Google Ads agency and talking about how they want to leave them, but they don't know how. And maybe that's you right now. Maybe you feel like you're paying this ad agency, but you're not sure exactly what it is that they do and what exactly you have to pay them these large sums of money for. Maybe you feel like the performance that they're giving your ads right now is completely not there at all. And you feel like you're paying for a service, but you feel like they're not actually making you money. So where should you find the money to pay them with? There could also be a problem with communication, whereby you are emailing them, but they are not keeping you up to date with what's happening in your ads. And you kind of feel disjointed and isolated from the whole process. And yeah, I know that sometimes they might send you a fancy ad report every 4 weeks that tells you all of the detailed informations, but that doesn't mean that they're actually even working on your ads. So how would you know? And what I want to do in this video is I want to give you 3 simple things. Number 1, I want to show you how to make sure that you control your ad account, make sure that you control every single thing before you break up with your ad agency. I want to give you a couple of important things to consider. And number 3, I want to give you a detailed escape plan so that you never ever have this problem again. All right, let's get into the video. Now, if you're brand new here, hi, my name is Devon. Welcome to Neptune Design. And what we do in this channel is I teach you how to understand Google Ads in a really simple, uncomplicated way without the marketing speak. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you hit that bell and also hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of my videos or my tutorials. Now, let me start off by saying this. Not every single agency out there is an outsourcing, white labeling, lazy ass piece of agency. There are actually good agencies out there, and there are some amazing agency owners. I should know this because for the past 7 years, I've actually trained a few agency owners, and for the most part, they do actually want to do a good job. They do really care about their clients, and they do actually care about getting great results for their clients. However, there are some agencies out there, well, I say some, it's probably 70% of the agencies out there that are just in it for the money. They want to make as much profit as possible while doing as little work as possible. And this is why sometimes they'll outsource your ads to white label agencies, and they'll find the cheapest white label agency to outsource your ads to. So what does this mean? It basically means that you're paying an agency in America to run your ads. That agency will go to somewhere like India and they'll find the cheapest white label agency. And it's been shown sometimes that these guys can actually outsource your ads up to 5 times. So you're paying an American agency who then pays an Indian agency, who then finds another Indian agency, who then finds a cheaper Indian agency, who then finds a cheap guy to actually run your ads. And this is the problem. You're paying one company, but the person actually running your ads is somewhere off in a different country. They probably are struggling to speak a word of English, and they're probably struggling to understand your target buyer. Like, for example, let's say you own a watch store and you hired an American marketing agency to do your Google ads. You might find that the person actually in charge of running your ads has never ever been to a watch store, a luxury watch store in their lives before, and they kind of don't understand what would actually make somebody pay $50,000 to buy a luxury watch. And I'm not throwing shade on any developing countries because I myself am recording this video from South Africa, which is basically a third world country as well. But this creates a problem for you, the business owner. You don't know who's running your ads, and you don't know if they're doing a great job, and you don't have a direct line of communication to them. And that's why the whole process, that's why you feel so isolated, and that's why you feel so disjointed. So I'm going to talk you through the steps to solve the problem, but the main problem is that you could be providing these resources, you could be providing advertising budget, you could be spending all of this money, but you could be giving all of these resources to the wrong person. And it's not to say that they're not doing a great job and that they're not good at Google Ads, but you have to be good at Google Ads, and you have to understand the target market. If you're good at Google Ads, but you don't have any clue about the target market, you're not going to write great ad copy, you're not going to do good landing pages, and you're not going to craft marketing messages that work. So let's go through your escape plan and let's talk about a couple of things that you can do to fix the situation and to leave. All right, so what can you actually do to break up with your current ad agency? Now, every single agency across the world uses what's called a Google Ads Manager account. And in this Ads Manager account, they basically control a whole lot of different Google Ads accounts from different clients. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure that you actually have admin access to your own Google Ads account. You can do this by logging into your Google Ads and then checking under users and make sure that you are listed as either the admin or the owner of that specific account. That's going to be very important later on. The second thing that I need you to do is make sure that you have access to all of the platforms that kind of connect with your Google Ads. So you want to make sure that you have access to Google Analytics. You want to make sure, if you're an e-commerce owner, that you have access to Google Merchant Center. You want to make sure that you have access to your Google Tag Manager account. And last but not least, you want to make sure that you have access to your website backend, that you are able to log into your website and actually make changes, right? So you want to make sure that you have all of this in place before you break up with your agency, because it's going to be very difficult to do it after you break up with them. And also on the special note, if you're paying an agency to run ads on their credit card instead of off your credit card, what you want to do is you want to make sure that before you break up with them, that your ads are actually paused on their ad account and that they are actually removed on their ad account. I'll tell you why this is important. You might find that when you leave that agency and you want to start running Google Ads and you set up your own Google Ads account with your own credit card, you might find out that your ads keep on getting blocked by Google Ads, and they might even suspend your account. The reason why they'll suspend your account is because now it looks like you're running ads off two different accounts, off your old agency account and off your current account. So make sure that the next ad account you open runs off your credit card and not anybody else's credit card, and make sure you pay your agency separate. Also, another thing you want to do is make sure that before you leave them, that you actually see the evidence that your ads are paused and your ads have been removed. So make sure of that. Just ask them to send you a screenshot, right? All right, so now it's time for step 2. And in step 2, we're going to have to do all of those difficult things that we might not really want to do. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is to send them an email notifying them that you are no longer requiring their service. And I would like you to actually put in a reason why you are no longer requiring their service, or maybe a whole bunch of reasons. Maybe you can write a detailed email as to why you don't need to work with them anymore. I do not want you to not say anything. I want you to give some valid reasons in there. And you can think about this like breaking up with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. The last thing you want to do is just ignore all of their calls, ignore all of their messages, and just ghost them completely and hope they get the idea. What's going to happen is you're going to end up making an enemy of that agency, and they are going to go out of their way to maybe sabotage your account, or maybe make sure that you're never able to run ads anymore. So the first thing I want you to do is be respectful, send them communication, and be transparent and tell them exactly the reasons why. Because some agency owners have generally just been ignoring and neglecting their agency. And maybe this is the wake-up call that they need to realize, oh, I better start treating my clients better. Otherwise, all of my other clients are going to end up doing what this guy did. And I mean, everybody deserves to know. So at least do that just to give yourself and them peace of mind. The second thing I need you to do is make sure that that agency is paid in full. Now, I know, how do I say this? I know that you might feel like the agency owes you something. You might have paid them an enormous amount of money and feel like you have absolutely nothing to show for it. And the last piece of revenge you can get, or the last piece of justice you can get, is withholding that final payment for them. But my friend, trust me on this. Make sure they are paid and make sure that you fulfilled your contractual obligations. I don't care who's right and who's wrong. I don't care what's fair and what's not fair. Make sure that that contract is completed and that legally you are not bound to anything, or legally you are not putting yourself in jeopardy. And here's the thing, for your own mental health, who wants to spend the next 6 weeks going back and forth with an email argument while not running ads and while losing money on their business? Think about your business, think about your future, and trust me, your life is going to be brighter without them. So just pay them, get it over and done with, and move on. You do not want to spend the next 6 weeks in the email battle. You do not want to spend the next 6 months in a legal battle. Just make sure that everyone is paid and leave peacefully and gracefully. And trust me, it'll even assist with the transition process. Now, the last thing that I am going to tell you is, once you get all of these hard things out of the way, it's actually going to make it much more easier for you to move on. And in the next step, I'm just going to give you a little bit more advice. But this way, you know that everyone's on good terms and you haven't basically burnt any bridges and you don't actually need to go back to them for anything. Also, one last thing, make sure that after you've finished up with them, make sure you've actually removed all of their user permissions off these various accounts that I mentioned in the earlier steps. The reason why you want to do this is there are a lot of spiteful people out there. I've actually seen this. I didn't believe it was possible until I saw this. And they will lock you out of your website. They will lock you out of your analytics, and they will lock you away from your data. And they'll feel perfectly fine about it. They'll feel perfectly justified about that. Do not make sure, or rather, make sure that you do not neglect this step, and make sure that you actually remove all user permissions once that email has been sent. Now, if any of what I've said thus far resonated with you, if you have some stories for me of what your agency did to you, or if you have some nightmare stories from hiring other agencies, I want you to let me know in the comments section below, and I pretty much reply to every single comment. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. You've now got the hardest part behind you. And the question is, what do you do next? How do you make sure that you never run into this mess again? So number one, you want to make sure that you build up your knowledge of Google Ads and you actually have a solid foundation for your knowledge of Google Ads. So here's the thing. Us CEOs and business owners, we always think that we can just outsource something. We don't have to worry and we don't have to think about it again because somebody else is doing the thing for us. But if you think about it this way, you need to have some sort of baseline knowledge about the thing. So for example, if you want somebody to dress you up every day, if you want somebody to pick your clothes for you every single day, not sure why you'd want to do that, but anyway, you then want that person to choose clothes in the style that you like, to know what you like for example, you like jeans, you like tops. You wouldn't just outsource every single thing to that person without knowing a little bit about the subject matter. Google Ads is exactly the same. You need to understand what's happening with your Google Ads. You need to understand if you're even showing your ads to the right people, and you need to know how to tell the difference between an agency that knows what they're doing and an agency that doesn't know what they're doing at all. And I highly recommend that you check out my Google Ads course for business owners. It's called Profitable PPC, and what we do in that course is we basically teach you every single thing that you need to know about measuring your own ads, running your own ads, and setting up your own ads like a pro. And it's built from the ground up with you in mind. Like, it's built for business owners. It's not built for people who run agencies or professional marketers. It's built for solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. So that's going to help you take care of that baseline knowledge that I was talking about, whereby you actually log into your Google Ads account and you know what's happening. And this is also going to help you when you hire your next agency, because within 3 weeks or within 4 weeks, you'll automatically know if your ads are improving or if they're kind of wasting your time doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. So that's step number 1. Get your baseline knowledge right. Develop a solid foundation of Google Ads knowledge. The second thing I want you to do is go out and look for a Google Ads consultant. Now, you can find a lot of these guys on Upwork, and you can even look for a Google Ads coach if you'd like just to speed up the learning process. I've got coaching programs and I'll link to that below as well. And what the consultant or the coach is going to help you do is they will look at your ads on a 2-weekly basis or a monthly basis, and they'll at least let you know if you're going in the right direction or not. So this is very important. The last thing you want to do is work on your Google Ads account and not have any professional input. The reason why we pay agencies such enormous amounts of money is because we assume they're going to take all of their decades of experience, bring them to our account, and help us skip all of those mistakes. Now that you're by yourself, you need to make sure that you have a professional in the loop so that he sees what you're doing and he can give you the nod and say, yes, keep on going in that direction, or tell you, no, that's completely not going to work for you. So make sure as step number 2, you either get a coach or consultant in the picture. And that moves us quite neatly to step number 3. This is the part where you feel like you can hire an agency. And to be honest with you, I've had a lot of business clients go through my course and my program and feel like they're confident. They can do this now. They don't need to outsource this. They feel completely confident running their own ads. But some people still feel like this is too much work and I should outsource this to the agency, and I can take those hours in my week back and I can use them for something far more productive. So what I am going to do is I am going to put a list down below of preferred agencies that I think you should work with. These guys are transparent, they are honest, and they actually know what they are doing. It's just going to be a few, maybe 2 or 3, maybe even 1 agency, but they are agencies that I've worked with before and I trust those business owners. So I'm going to put them in the link in the description below. But the best thing about step number 3 is you don't have to be in a rush. You don't have to run out and go and hire another agency because you've already got a solid foundation of Google Ads knowledge for yourself. So if you do step 1, just step 1, already you'll feel a lot more calmer and you won't feel like you have to jump into bed with another marketing agency and hope that they are a good marketing agency or not. And that's basically it. That's your 3-step escape plan. And I'm just going to say this one thing before I go. Sometimes the consultant that you work with is actually so good that you end up just trusting them and end up handing over your ads to them and just paying them a monthly retainer. And that's an option for you as well. There are plenty of ways to do this, but the most important thing is that you actually understand what's happening in your ads account. And that's it, my friend. That's your 3-step escape plan. Now, if you enjoyed this video, what I want you to do is check out my Google Ads course for business owners. It's called Profitable PPC. We've got over 15.5 hours of step-by-step tutorials. You get monthly coaching calls with me, and you also get a private community of business owners that are learning ads just like you. And I think this is an important investment to make for your business, and it's nice to have a resource that you can go back to and refer back to while you're in your transition period. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link it down below. You can just have a look and see if it's for you or not. Lastly, I just want to thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. No tutorials or anything like that, but I think it's very important that I covered this subject because I see a lot of pain out there, man. So I think it's important. What I want you to do is I want you to hit like, hit subscribe, and also I'm going to put a couple of videos over here that you can check out that's going to further your Google Ads learning. Till next time, peace.